This very special bonus edition of the Pub Frame podcast, where, here we go, boys and girls, we now have the details on how the 2025 PWHL Expansion Draft for PWHL Vancouver and PWHL Seattle is going to work. Can I ask a question? Why do you say Vancouver first over Seattle? Because Vancouver got awarded their team first? Because I've noticed when you mention about expansion teams, you always go Vancouver first over Seattle, but we're doing alphabetical order. Yeah. So, when they get names and brands, then I will say Seattle or Vancouver. Okay. I don't know, that's fine. I'm just thinking, because I've been thinking, why is he saying Vancouver first over Seattle? That's why. While they're still in what we were in inaugural season phase, I'm going to say Vancouver first because they got before Seattle, but when you get names and brands, then we can prefer you into the alphabetical order. Okay? Yeah, right. So, this news dropped on May the 19th. Yeah. May 19th. The day we landed back in the UK from Philly. Well, we flew out early evening, Sunday, May 18th. Yeah. But of course didn't land back until May 19th. The very early hours of Monday morning. I think we landed into Heathrow at about 6 o'clock in the morning in the UK. Very early. Very early. Yeah. Well, we got back out on May 19th. Me and Pluto were going to be taking Sooty to Kylie. Yeah. So, when we got back in from the airport, I went to obviously jet lag. It always kills me. Here's what you know about me when I fly to the States. When I fly to the States, I'm fine flying out to America. It's when I fly back, that's when the jet lag kicks in. I still probably haven't recovered from it, but for me, that's actually the best scenario. If I'm gonna have jet lag for one part of the journey, I'd rather be on the way when I'm coming back home because I need to make the most of my time in America. Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, really short flights. The flight to Philly was about 7 hours. The flight coming back was about 6.5. So you didn't even you didn't get any time to have any sleep at all. Nope. So we got back in. I had a quick little power nap. And the first thing I saw when I woke up from my power nap was, oh my god, expansion draft details! So, I wasn't going to Kylie. No, I was staying at home. Yeah. Well, with Sooty involved, we would have been a bit of a risk. No, I want to stay and try and get some rest. Because obviously, I was the only one that could probably have proper rest for the World Cup, so I thought at least one should have proper rest. So, yeah. But you did, when me and put her out, you did read on it. Yes. Okay. It wasn't until we got into our seats that I then read it out properly. I had a quick little glance before we went out to Kylie, but it was until we got into our seats in the air arena that I went and read it through properly. And I still couldn't get my head around it. But, given how I am still I'm incredibly jet lagged, I'm probably not going to understand it. And you didn't understand it. No. Well, I've got the article. We'll read it out and we'll go through it in detail, okay? So, here we go. So, the Professional Women's Hockey League have announced the key dates, rules and procedures that will guide the 2025 expansion roster building process as PWHL Vancouver and PWHL Seattle prepare for their 2025-26 season debuts. The comprehensive process includes protected player lists, which we are going to do an episode on that. That'll be next time. Yeah. An exclusive signing window, an expansion draft, and of course the 2025 PWHL draft. We at this time still don't have details of how the draft order works. All we know is that the gold plan winners will select first. Yeah. That's what we know so far. Okay. And this will provide the two new teams with the opportunity to build a strong foundational roster. Obviously, what these two teams competitive from day one, get how stupid this league is. So, each of the 6 inaugural teams will relinquish 4 players from their 2024-25 roster throughout the entire process, including players signed during the exclusive window and those selected in the expansion draft. The standard PHL system... I'm still exhausted, so I might do some slip-ups. That's the first one. I'll do that line again. The standard PHL roster is 23 players. So, let's go for it. So first is we have on June the 3rd at noon Eastern, that is when the player protection lists are due. Okay. So, that is 5 o'clock in the evening UK time. Yeah. Yes. Each of the 6 inaugural PHL teams will have the opportunity to initially protect 3 players. I know, it's cruel. It's cruel. From selection in the exclusive signing window and the expansion draft. After an inaugural team has relinquished 2 players, whether through the exclusive signing window or the expansion draft, that team will be allowed to protect 1 additional player. Players eligible to be protected must either be under contract for the upcoming 2025-26 season, or the team must hold their playing rights through the 2025-26 season. Do you want to... Yeah, so in the PHL draft, when a player gets drafted by a team, that team has their rights for 2 years. Oh, you've gone, love. Oh, sorry. It's actually the shock of the protection lists. Of how we can sign. Yeah. So example, shall I use video? Use video. Yeah. So Sarah was drafted by the New York Science in last year's draft in Minnesota. Therefore, the Science got her rights for this season we just had and next season. No. So that's what we mean by rights. Yeah. Yeah, so that'll be on June the 3rd. That's when protection lists are due. It doesn't say if we definitely get them on June the 3rd. It just says that they're due. It could be that they'll be due, but we won't see them until maybe before the sign window starts or something. Anyway. Right, well, speaking of the sign window. So, the exclusive sign window opens June the 4th, 8 AM Eastern Time. Don't ask to work out that as in the UK time. We're West Coasters! Yeah, we're West Coasters. Don't ask to Eastern. If our Eastern members of our hockey pack was here, they could do it for us, but yeah, alright. Right, so the exclusive sign window. So following the submission of the protection lists, the expansion teams will be granted a 5-day exclusive signing window to sign a maximum of 5 players. There is no required minimum number of players who must be signed during this window. Any unprotected player or any player on an expiring contract is eligible to be signed. Yeah. So during this window, banking and setup could be allowed to sign up to a maximum of 5 players, but they don't need to reach 5 players. Yeah. So they could technically go into the expansion draft and have maybe 3 or 4 signings. They might signings. It's a max. They can make a maximum of 5, but they're not required to hit that. Yeah, which I think gives them really good flexibility. Yeah, because you don't know what's going to be available after the sign window's done. Exactly. So, yeah, but it's interesting. And this is something that the players actually asked for. It was. This is something that players actually asked for. It gives them the option to see, you know, actually sit down, have conversations, see what could work. Yeah. I bet Jeremiah's thinking this is a nightmare for us. Yeah, well, you got to browse the players. Exactly. Yeah. So that basically then takes us all the way through to the rest of the week, because that is a Wednesday. Yeah. That basically then takes us through the rest of the week. And then, of course, as we know, the expansion draft will take place on June the 9th at 8:30 PM Eastern. That is 1:30 in the morning here in the UK, and we will be up all night. Yeah, we are going to be up all night. We're not going to bed. There's going to be screaming in bold. Yeah, because there will be some shocks. So, June 9th, the expansion draft will feature Vancouver and Seattle select a minimum of 7 players each until each has reached a 12-player roster. So, by the end of the draft, Vancouver and Seattle will each have 12 players. Now, stick with me, kids. This is where it gets complicated. This is where it gets complicated. So, stick with me, kids. Right. Here we go. I'll try not to trip up either. I would have done that once to this episode. If one team enters the expansion draft with fewer signed players than the other, it will be granted additional selections to reach their 12. So, let's say, for example, if Seattle has fewer signings than Vancouver. So say, for example, Vancouver hits their 5, but Seattle only has 3. That would mean Vancouver would make the required 7, but Seattle would get an extra 2 picks to get them up to 12. Yeah. So this is where the Simon is going to be really interested to see who's got how many already locked in. Yeah. Because if one comes into this matchup with a few signings, then boom. So really they kind of need to hit the 5 then. Because if both of them came with the exact number of signings, they're going to need additional picks regardless. Yeah. It just... I think you should just get rid of the minimum. It should be, you've got to sign these number of players in the sign window. Yeah. Did that help? Yeah. So yeah, good. Yeah, because obviously each team has got to end the draft with 12 players already on the roster. Yeah, I think that's brilliant. Or if for example Seattle had 5 picks and Vancouver had 4 picks, then Vancouver would get a extra pick to get to the 12. Yes, because 4 and 7 would be there you go. There you go. We can get an example of both of them. Yeah. So, got that? I got it. Good. That's the bit where I thought it got. That for me was right on the Monday. That's where I thought, okay, this is now getting confusing now. Yeah. My head hurts. My jet lagged head hurts. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, so basically, keep an eye on the sign window, because if one team comes in with fewer picks, if if one team comes in with fewer signings into the expansion draft or J9, then they'll get additional picks to hit the 12. That means those 2 are going to do a lot of free agency signings. Because there's going to be 6 rounds of the draft this year in Ottawa. Yep. Just 12, because 12 by 6 is 18. Yeah. Yes, yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure nobody's thinking about that. So players eligible to be selected in the expansion draft consist of unprotected players under contract for the upcoming 25-26 season, or those whose playing rights are held through the upcoming 25-26 season, which we've already covered. Now, the order in which teams will make their selections will be determined at a later date. So that's the only thing we don't now know is who gets to pick first. Maybe Vancouver picks first, maybe Seattle picks first. I'm not sure it makes that big of a difference given how it's only 2 teams, but I would not be surprised. Whoever picks first won't get to pick first of the expansion teams in the entry draft. So what you're saying is, if Vancouver picks first the expansion draft, then they would get to have pick 3 in the entry draft, and so would get pick 2. Yeah, that's how I think it'll work. We know in the entry draft in Ottawa, the Sirens as gold plan winners will go first. I then think it would then be the 2 expansion teams to get picks 2 and 3. So I'm thinking whoever gets to pick first in the expansion draft, you will then get picks 3 in the entry draft, and then the team got the second expansion will get picked second. As like a compensation. So it'd be a bit unfair if the team that gets picked first expansion draft gets to pick before the other team in the entry draft. Yeah. I still think it should have been expansion teams picked first and then do reverse standings. For the entry draft. Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. The article also does, of course, list all the players that are eligible to be taken. We are going to go through that in a bonus episode. But if you want to look at that for yourselves, I'll put a link to that article in the episode description. Yeah, so it's there for you guys. Yeah. And then after that, we'll have the entry draft. I will talk about that in a step. I've still got to make the video about New York winning the gold plan. So what I'm going to do is, now we have the details for how that's going to work, I will go through that is part of, or I might just a separate video. I might wait till we get the actual draft order and then I'll go through it. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I still need to make a video about you with the gold plan. I'll do that next week, and then I can do a draft set as a separate video. Because the article also mentions how that will work. Let's just put it out. It's only 6 rounds this year. It's a bit interesting, but it will mean my career start will have to make a lot of PhD signings because I need to get to 23 somehow. What do I make of it? Because that's all the details. Let's finish off with what we make of this draft. But while you do, I'm going to have a quick little break. I'm so knackered. There's still so much to cover. Yeah. What make it? Oh God. I've been doing this. You were the one of us, of this entire Purple Trio, you have been the one who has been dreading this draft the most, because you just feel, well, we're going to lose really good stock. I know, but I've been trying to say to people, I know we're going to lose good talent, but if we want Vancouver and Seattle to be competitive from day one, which the league does, then it's a price we have to pay. Plus, there's going to be more expansion coming in the pipelines. There's already rumours about maybe 26, 27, or potentially 27, 28. Yeah. Okay. We feel that the league can easily get to 12 teams. Yeah. So, get used to all the trying to say, boys and girls, get used to this now, because expansion is going to be coming to this league thick and fast. Yeah. Because this league is growing at a very fast rate. So basically what I'm trying to say is get used to it now. But I know you've been win spotters a lot, so 3 players. How the hell is anyone supposed to do that? I know. I'm dreading this! Don't worry, I'll make sure we'll have some nice snacks. The Pepsi Cola will be out. Diet Pepsi Cola, by the way. Yeah, because George is all about his health. Not just his mental health. Yeah, I'll make sure the week before the expansion draft, I will make sure we've got lots of treats in. So it'll be comfort eating! Comfort eating! We'll have lots of nice treats in. Is June and 9th a Monday? Yeah. Right, we'll have lots of treats in. Diet Pepsis! We'll have lots of nice treats because it's going to be lots of comfort eating. That could be a cheat day for me. That could be a cheat day. We'll have lots of nice stuff in because I'm going to need it. Grab Mr. Kipling's. I'll see what Mr. Kipling's I can think I would eat. We'll get some nice treats in. Comfort eating. Oh no! It was Mr. Kipling's! You set him off! With Angel Slices. Alright, he wants Angel Slices. So they do chocolate slices for me. I bet they can. Right. Angel Slices, chocolate slices. Pink slices or angel slices? You choose for me. Oh, okay, right. Right, okay. Okay. Yeah, so you've been dreading it. Bro, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. You still got a few days to go. Well, actually, no. Well, actually, you've only got, what is it, till June the 3rd, because then the process begins. So, basically, make the most of this weekend, boy. Make the most of this weekend. Lady? I think the exclusive summer is going to be really interesting to see which players are going to think, am I interested in this? Am I not interested in this? And see, well, like you said, it'll be an opportunity for players to have a sit down with the general manager of Vancouver and Seattle, who are both secure, by the way. Shall I very quickly mention that? Yeah. Yeah. You make your point and I'll find out. Find out. Yeah. Because obviously it's going to give players the opportunity to have a chat with the general manager of Seattle and Vancouver, see if this would work for them or not. And it'd be very interesting to see how many are going to come out. Because obviously we know that they can only sign a max of 5. But they don't need to go into that draft with 5 signings. No, they could have 3 or 4. And they'll be given extra picks. Because obviously if they don't hit the 5, they will be given additional picks in order to make up to get to 12. Yeah. So, yeah, but that's going to be very interesting to see who goes there. I will keep an eye on Mondays if the protection list comes out, because I think the protection list you've got to build it before we get to sign when I start. Yeah. Right, so I'll just very quickly tell you who the general managers are for Vancouver and Seattle, because they have both been announced. So, for Vancouver, Vancouver have named Cara Gardner-Murray as their general manager. She joins the league's expansion team following 14 seasons with Princeton women's ice hockey, where she had served as head coach since 2017 and built one of the most respected programs in college hockey. I'm going to do separate videos on this. Yeah. I'm going to do an episode on this, but I'll just quickly mention who it is now. Then PWHL Seattle have named Megan Turner as their general manager, and she actually has got some experience in the PWHL because, and watch out Boston, because she has spent the last 2 seasons as assistant general manager to the Boston Fleet. Watch out Boston! Watch out. So, yeah, I will do an episode on both of them. Not right now. Not got enough time. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's really good we now know the format of how this is going to work. This is cruel. I mean, if we go back to the expansion drafts we had in the AHL for the Knights and Kraken, I didn't really dwell on those too much because with who they took from me both times, it wasn't really like a big name. In fact, I can't remember who the Knights and Kraken took from me. Oh, look at you. Yeah. But it wasn't really that big of a deal because there were at the time 30 teams eligible in this draft. And it's just, there's not really parity. But the PHL, it's 6 teams. The parity's been from top to bottom. And every team has got star power. Yeah. So every team is going to lose 4 players. And you just don't want to think. None of these rosters are going to be the same. That's why those first few weeks of Year 3 are going to be so interesting to see how, not just how Vancouver and Seattle integrate into the league, but also how Minogue 6 cope with the fact that they have now just lost 4 members of their roster. This is so cruel. It's just so harsh. I think, Chris, yeah, you're right. There's going to be more expansion coming. The league needs to look at those rules and change them. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see how this works on June 9th. And maybe this will be something that the league will need to look back on and go, actually, yeah, that probably was not the right way to go about it, and then change it, obviously, for future expansions. Yeah. But that, I think, is gonna do it for today. There you go. So that is basically all you need to know about the expansion draft, which will take place on June 9th. The process will begin on June the 3rd, and we, of course, will be covering every step of the bit. The next episode we've got covering the expansion draft is going to be us 3 coming up with our own protection lists for each of the local 6 teams. That's going to be coming up next. Then we will, of course, have a bonus episode covering the actual protection lists when they get published. And then, of course, we'll have a draft recap as well. And I will also do a video on the general managers for Vancouver and Seattle. I'll do it as a combined episode rather than just 2 separates. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So there's going to be a lot of episodes about the expansion draft as it is on the horizon. But the process starts on Tuesday, June the 3rd. Yeah, so hopefully we've explained that for you. If not, check out the article yourself. Go have a look at who from your team is potentially at risk of leaving in just a few days' time. And I think that's going to be cool. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.